Well, I'm speechless now. I thank you, life, thank you, love, and it is true there is some angels in this city. Thank you so much.
And that was a clip of the 2008 winner for Best Actress, Curtis. How do you pronounce her name?
Marion Cotillard.
I apparently am too Mexican to actually know how to pronounce that. This is Movies the Podcast, and we're here to discuss the Oscars, previous winners, and a lot of good stuff. And before we get to that, let everybody introduce themselves.
This is Jordan.
This is Curtis.
This is Brenda.
This is Dan.
That's Dan. He's our wonderful producer who's going to sit off to the side, play on his phone. Hopefully he beats that nice score of Angry Birds. So, guys, it's been 2 weeks since the last time we've hung out. Is there anything new that you guys want to catch up, talk about? Terrible gay movies that you've recently seen? Anybody?
I made Rob watch a gay movie. It's not a gay movie. I think it's an art film. I think it's a gay art film. I don't know. It's called Keep the Lights On. It's by a Danish filmmaker, and it's...
You said it was based on his life, right?
Yeah, which is embarrassing for him. But it was based on a 7-year relationship he was in with a crystal meth addict in the late 90s up until probably
started
recently.
98, and he carried around a tote bag, the crystal meth addict.
The drug-addicted boyfriend carried a tote bag for 8 years. The same
entire
tote
time.
Bag.
And he was a lawyer. Bag. And it was just painful to watch.
But he did go to rehab. There's a lot of nudity. But it wasn't a good movie. It was long.
And for an hour and 40 minutes.
I looked at Rob and I was like, I feel like we've been watching this for 2 hours. It was 1 hour we'd been watching it. 1 hour. But it wasn't bad. It just wasn't good.
Is this something you're recommending?
No, nobody.
If you out there are people who like depressing gay films, this one's for you.
Get it. Well, the cover of it says...
tote bag.
And who doesn't? The cover for the poster says, I got to find who the reviewer is and write them a strongly worded letter. It says the best American movie of the year.
You showed me the trailer, and that trailer had me crying. I was like, oh my God, I can't wait to watch this. And
isn't it a Danish movie?
No, I mean, it's just a Danish character. She's Danish.
Oh, Dan, always thinking of food.
Where is the craft service table here? I've been looking.
I found some crumbs earlier when I walked in.
Anne Hathaway dropped those.
Maria's not doing her job.
Housekeeper of the year. Not more.
You and Brenda, Jordan, you guys been doing anything other than studying?
I'm really ashamed because I've been so lax at seeing movies. I have a whole list of things I definitely want to see before the Oscars. A lot of the nominees I haven't been able to see yet. A lot of movies that I'm being picked on for not seeing yet that I really want to catch up on.
That actually reminds me. Are you still holding their stance on The Impossible? That it's
I'm adopting a doctrine of neutrality.
He's never seen it.
To The Impossible.
But he hates it.
Apparently. Well, my rule is that I don't have to see a movie to not like it. I know that that's probably contrary to what a lot of people think.
Or what this podcast is trying to do.
You know, I've been...
Spike Lee believes in the same thing.
Me and Spike Lee have a lot in common. We, so Brenda has resorted to referring to me as the Elizabeth Hasselbeck of this podcast.
It's so true.
I want things banned that I've never read or seen, or I've just heard a third party, fourth party account.
But hasn't everyone told you how great The Impossible is?
I have been hearing amazing things about it. So I'm literally withholding judgment until I see it. People that I know who are not normally shaken by movies have reported back that they are very shaken by this movie. They're very moved by it. It's obviously the clip I saw at the SAG Awards was very intriguing. So I'm keeping an open mind, and I'm actually really anxious to see it.
The only movie that I've seen in the last 2 weeks I went to see in the theater was Jessica Chastain's marvelous performance in that shitty horror movie, Mama. Thoughts on that one, anybody?
I loved Mama.
I did too. And you know how I feel about Guillermo del Toro.
And Jessica Chastain.
Well, no, I love Jessica Chastain.
But you hate Guillermo del Toro?
I don't know. You love Guillermo del Toro and you liked the movie.
Yeah, both.
Yeah. The only thing about it was, what I loved about Mama is it wasn't cheesy. Like, even the ending, drop it. Even the ending, which some people were like,
laughing.
People were like, oh, that's so cheesy. I'm like, no, it was perfect. Like, that was the whole point of the movie. That was the ending is, I don't know how to describe it. Just, it was about loss and it was about family, and that Mama was their mom. And so that, of course, the little girl left Oh, I'm giving away the ending. Spoiler alert!
My only complaint, and hopefully this isn't too much of a spoiler alert, is Jessica Chastain's character at the beginning of the film is kind of like the reluctant mother. And kind of towards the end with the two girls, kind of changes her whole attitude. And I mean, I understand, kids can kind of do that to you. You develop a relationship with them. But I mean, it almost feels like a comment like, everybody, is supposed to love kids, and I know that there's a lot of women out there that, never want to have kids.
It's not just women.
I know it's not just women, but I mean, it almost seems more unacceptable for women not to want to be a parent. But overall, I did enjoy the film. I love Guillermo del Toro for this reason exactly. I think he brings something completely different to horror movies.
No, yeah, sometimes it's bad though. I mean, this one just worked. He produced that remake of Don't Be Afraid of the Dark. Do you remember?
I haven't seen that.
Okay, and that was one where I was like, oh, this could have been done better. And so Mama, I was a little worried about that as well.
There's a lot in the film that I really liked, and I think knowing Jordan and knowing his taste, I think he's going to have fun with it. I roll my eyes a lot in horror movies, and this one there's some genuine scares. I was like, that's very clever of how they handle that. That static shot that you were telling me about, that was a really smart shot. So hopefully when you see it, next time we'll do a little catch-up for you. I'm
thinking about dropping out of school just so that I can, because I'm literally sitting in the library or sitting at a coffee shop, and I really want to be at the movies, or I want to be home watching something. I don't want to be reading.
Well, I mean, eventually this podcast is going to take you to such heights, so...
I'm really hoping I can drop out of school. Or maybe go to Yale, like everyone tends to go to.
All podcasters end up in Yale.
Or you could go down to the Sundance Theater in downtown Houston, Texas, where we live.
Oh. Shameless plug.
No, Mama's good. It's not gonna win any awards, and I'm sure it won't make that much more money at the box office, but it's enjoyable.
One thing I really appreciated that it didn't give away all the scares in the trailer or the TV commercials, which I think Sinister had the problem with. The Sinister was actually a pretty good film, but I mean, once you see the trailer or commercial, you've basically seen all the good scares and you kind of know what to expect. So it just basically ruined it for me.
I couldn't watch the trailer. It's too scary.
For the longest time, and Brenda knows this of me, that horror is my least favorite genre, but I often would turn to her and say, what do you recommend as a horror movie? And so she would tell me, and I would try it on her. So it'd be fun whenever we get to the point in the podcast that we can dedicate an episode to just horror movies. And you guys can just
so down for that.
Try to better educate me in the world of...
Like the remake of The Women? That's the scariest horror movie I've ever seen.
She haunted my dreams.
She haunts my dreams to this day.
Was that the movie that killed Meg Ryan?
God rest her soul, and she looked great in that memoriam reel. But,
Annette Bening is a top.
I had a whole line of thought now all I'm seeing is Annette Bening strapping it on for Meg Ryan, and I don't think I'll ever be the same again. But with Mama, I have not seen Mama yet, but I feel really burned by that horror genre. I mean, I'm kind of Johnny-come-lately to the horror genre. My partner's really into horror, and so I've started getting into kind of that genre and really starting to appreciate it. But I feel like I get getting really burned by these movies that are really hokey. Insidious was one that I really was excited about it. I was very excited about it. I walked into it thinking this is going to be great, and I really walked away thinking, what the hell did I just see? Barbara Hershey, why are you doing this?
Hold on a second. I loved Insidious, first of all. It's so scary! But, I have to... When I saw the movie, and I've seen a ton of horror movies. I love horror movies. When I saw the ending, I was like, okay, this ending is ruining the movie. But then I was reading this article, I think it was some film comment about Insidious, which Carnival of Souls is an old horror movie from the 60s. It has almost the exact same ending. And the ending was representing like a person's mental breakdown. And that's why you see all those things, and that's why all those things are happening. And so then Insidious made more sense because I knew the reference points that they were using. But I thought it was so scary.
I thought it was really effective. It kind of threw out a lot of rules that, I mean, I think turn off a lot of people from horror movies. Is like, you already know what's going to happen, and it kind of threw some of those out the window, such as like daylight. Nobody was safe in daylight. Nobody was safe in like certain parts, even after they moved. I don't know. It was really effective to me because it kind of threw some of your expectations out the window, and you didn't know what was coming next.
I did want to make a point that I like what Jordan was saying earlier about how the latest batch of horror movies have just been gore porn or just like cheap thrills. And back when I had my store, it was interesting to see these two very different audiences. People that would only come in and rent a gay movie, no matter what gay movie, but they just wanted a good sex scene in it. Or on the other spectrum, people who would rent shitty horror movies for a good kill. Yeah. And it's like they didn't care; they would watch it.
And sometimes shitty horror movies are amazing. Last night, actually, while I was avoiding studying, I was watching the last of the Freddy Krueger films.
New Nightmare?
The horrible New Nightmare. And Johnny Depp is in it. Who knew? And it's just this, and Roseanne Barr and Tom Arnold.
Oh, Freddy's Dead.
Or Freddy's, I don't know which one.
Oh, the one that went 3D.
It was horrible. I mean, but I am a big fan of movies.
Love that one.
I'm a big fan of movies that are so bad they're amazing, and that movie was it really was like cinematic pornography.
I think one thing, I don't want to say it's ruined the genre, but maybe special effects has kind of crippled some people in the Department of Creativity.
Amen.
Some of my favorite like classic horror films didn't have like all the CGI that you have now, and like were really effective with just what they had back then. One of my favorite movies, horror, sci-fi, or any other genre, is The Thing. And if you see it, like, it was made in, I think, 82. Yeah, it came out in 82. And I saw the, not remake, but I believe it was a prequel a year or two ago. It just didn't cut it for me. It just didn't have the same effect that the original had with the scares and, the mood and everything they were able to accomplish without all those special effects.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna.
I love the original too.
Sorry, Dan.
Mike, so it's a lot of that stuff you're seeing now is to save for budget, right? That's where you're seeing a lot of the CGI now. But it's almost like to the point where it's making the antagonist a cartoon. That's what I've noticed 9 times out of 10 you watch it. It just takes you completely out of the whole environment because you're watching a cartoon get shot by cartoon bullets.
And that was my issue with Insidious. Going back to Insidious was that I felt that the special effects were distracting. And I felt that they were... And maybe I was just not in the right place for it, and maybe I'm just a cynic when it comes to things like that. But I felt that took me out of the story.
I don't think they have any special effects in that movie. The budget was so teeny. They filmed it in like 10 days, and it had like a teeny $3 million budget. I mean, they had big famous actors, but I don't think there is any.
There are some special effects. There's the demon thing and the...
Well,
that was me.
Dream sequence.
That was me with my parrot earring.
Close it out that, horror movies... They make a lot of money. People still pay for them. But once they start going CGI blood, I'm done with them. I hate that. Now we're going to move on to this year's nominations for the Oscars. Yay. For the... What? Is this the 85th annual?
I don't know.
Curtis? This is the 85th.
Is it the 85th? It's the 85th.
85th. Wow. That's how long I've been
We're at the 85th already. Jeez. I'm old.
I remember the first ones. I was so
there
excited.
Too.
I DVR'd them and watched them after I got
Do you remember, this is a cheesy story. When I was a kid, I watched, and I remember Whoopi Goldberg winning. And she was like, I remember watching this on TV when I was a kid, and I just wanted to be up here. And then she was up there, and so obviously I'll be there one day, but it'll be like streaking or grabbing somebody's Oscar. Jessica Chastain, I go up there.
I
just heard Chastain. Yeah.
We could be seat fillers.
That's I would do it.
I would totally.
Yeah, but what if you
job.
sit next to Nicole Kidman? What do you want to talk to her about?
You don't. I'm sure that there are instructions.
You don't bother.
There are instructions. There are instructions.
You can't speak to them. What if they speak to you?
They can speak to you. Remember in the book, they said when they were instructing the seat fillers, it's like you cannot speak to them. You can be pleasant and say hello. They can speak to you, and if they engage you, go ahead, talk to them.
What if it's Zachary Quinto?
Huh?
What if it's Zachary Quinto?
Take him to the bathroom.
Ooh, I gotta go.
Well, let's start off with Curtis. You want to name off the Best Picture nominees?
I would love to. The Best Picture nominees for the 85th Annual Academy Awards are Amour, Argo, Beasts of the Southern Wild, Django Unchained, Les Mis, Life of Pi, Lincoln, Silver Linings Playbook, and Zero Dark 30. There's 9 nominees this year.
Well, let's talk about that category first.
I think...
What?
Oh, I was going to say, I think Argo's going to win.
I think so, too.
I do.
I'm really excited. They won the Best Ensemble at the SAG, and I really... going back, I really love Argo. I think it's a really great movie. It's exactly my kind of film.
It's gaining so much steam.
It's a really, really good movie. I think it really appeals to people who are not usually into espionage, kind of political thrillers. But I'm just thinking, as Curtis was kind of reading the list, I think this is a really great kind of cross-section of the year in movies. I think they really did a great job of nominating something for everyone, and it was just very disparate. I think Argo, and then Life of Pi are two incredibly different films, but are very successful on many levels, respectively.
I haven't decided which one of on the list I would like to win, but I did love Argo as well. I love history, and I think it's really funny because you could probably just go Google the event, but when you're in the theater watching it, it builds all this tension.
Wasn't it tense?
Yes,
oh my
extremely.
Gosh.
I was like a nail biter, edge of your seat, whatever you want to call it, but it was really.
And I
good.
knew what had happened, and I was wondering. I was like, what's gonna happen? Oh my God! I hope this works out for all of them. I
You
really
history
do.
nuts. I do think it's funny that whenever the Best Picture wins, the people that go up there are the producers, and Ben Affleck's the producer on this one.
I thank
so
goodness.
if he wins, that's going to be a nice fu to the Academy. Well, I didn't win for Best Director, but I'm here.
Well, I think there was a great article that talks about there's been very few times where the picture winner is different than the director winner. And they said this may be the year where Spielberg wins director and Argo wins Best Picture, which I could see. I'd support that. Spielberg did it before. He won Best
For Saving
Director,
Private Ryan,
but he didn't
and
win Best
it
Picture.
went to what?
Shakespeare in Love?
Well, we'll cover some of that later.
Oh, okay, we'll get back to that.
Actually, I don't go that far back, so we won't be covering any of that.
Oh, okay, sorry.
So you can shut it down right there. No
Yeah.
more Shakespeare in Love.
Nobody loves Gwyneth Paltrow and Shakespeare in Love.
But I wanted to talk about Miss Miniver. Not this week. Okay. Sorry, Greg Garson. We're gonna have to wait.
Well, Jordan, from what you've seen on this list, what would you think would be your best pick?
I think I have a pick of what I think is going to win, and then I have my personal favorite pick. Argo, I think, is a great movie. I think it's a really amazing achievement in filmmaking. Of course, Life of Pi was pretty amazing, but I think Argo is my personal favorite. As much as I love Tarantino and Django Unchained, I don't think that it's the best
not
picture.
his strongest.
It's not his strongest. It's definitely an amazing movie, but I think Lincoln is going to take it, and I think that those old Oscar rules, those historical dramas, those iconic American figures win awards, and I think Daniel Day-Lewis winning at the SAG Awards was definitely an omen of things to come for the Oscars.
Well, when you have the best ensemble cast, that whenever we saw the win at the SAG Awards, we were like, this is really heating up with who's winning what.
But everybody said to me, "Oh, that's not an acting kind of movie. That's not a movie you watch for the acting." I think someone had said to me, because I was like, "Well, who's good in it?" Or like, and they're like, "It's not really an acting movie." And then it won acting ensemble.
It's totally a film for the acting if you think about it. It's it's a thriller, and there wasn't a whole lot of special effects or anything. It was just at the core of it, the story and the acting.
But I think it's because I guess when we watch a movie too, we're looking for acting, like capital acting. You know what I mean?
Daniel Day-Lewis.
Yeah, and if you look at a lot of the nominees, which we'll go into later, they're not like big acting and like all the Best Actress nominees. It's subtle stuff, it's small stuff. And Argo must have been, from what I can tell, I haven't seen it. It seemed like they're just acting. They're not trying to win an award.
And I think maybe the viewers are becoming a little bit more sophisticated, that maybe those much more naturalistic performances, like in Argo, Clea Duvall is in Argo. And I've always loved her in her little indie films, and I've always been a real big fan of hers, and you don't see her a lot. But even her very small role, I think she just nailed it completely. Everyone in that movie was just so on. And what Brenda and I were talking about, that tension, I think comes from the fact that these really amazing actors that really just know what they're doing and maybe aren't distracting you with those big performances and those big grandiose things, really suck you into that story. Like, you really are at the edge of your seat and you're biting your nails and you're wondering what's going to happen next.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like there was any divas on set. Like, I think everybody was playing as a team.
He said it last night at the SAGs that everybody wanted to make a great film. Everybody was putting together to make an amazing movie. But going with what Jordan had set, he had a pick for what he thinks should win and what he thinks will win. Brenda, what do you think?
I'm thinking Zero Dark 30 is going to win, which I've seen recently, and I think it's a good film.
Oh, yeah.
I would like Amour to win, and I'll be honest. I'll be completely honest. I haven't seen it yet. I do need to watch it, But it's just so I'm a huge fan of foreign films, and I love it when a particular one. I think more should, but I love it when a particular one gets a lot of attention, and it's very rare that they're actually also nominated for Best Picture. So I think it'd be. And also, I'm a fan of Michael Haneke, so it would be nice to see him win for Best Picture.
Curtis?
Like I said, I do think Argo will win, and I feel weird saying that, but same thing. Like, it's a movie I haven't seen, but I just, from the buzz and from what people have told me, and it just seems like it has the most heat. I will not be surprised if that wins. What I want to win is Zero Dark 30, because I didn't think The Hurt Locker was the best film of the year when it won. I thought it was a good movie, but this movie to me just, probably what you guys saw in Argo, but just had like the tension and the actors and the plot and the cinematography and the editing. It just worked for me.
That's true.
She's an amazing director.
You're right. There's similarities in that these are both films that have such a strong supporting cast all around that have elevated the film. Both really well directed. For me, I would really like to see Silver Linings Playbook win. That's just my favorite movie. Everybody hates
a Golden Globe. Yeah,
but
isn't the Golden Globe enough?
I think Argo's going to go with it. I would love to see Life of Pi as well win the Best Picture, but I think Argo's going to take that one.
I don't think Ang Lee's movies have ever won Best Picture, even when he wins Best Director.
Yeah, Brokeback Mountain.
Yeah.
It was just The Hulk, Dan. Incredible Hulk was the other one.
It wasn't incredible. No.
It wasn't so good. It was bad.
But his movies are
no, it's
so
so bad.
good.
It was good.
He's such a good director.
He's so versatile.
Yeah.
Fun fact, Hulk fact. I don't want to interrupt too much here, but did you know the original Hulk, like when Ang Lee was first doing the movie, it was supposed to be completely animatronic.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Dan,
that's
you
right.
made
I did
that
see
up.
that. I did see a clip of that he had created an animatronic for that.
Does he wear shorts?
No.
Oh, okay. Like Captain Manhattan. What's his name?
Dr. Manhattan. Captain Manhattan.
I don't know.
Oh, you remember
I
the
saw his
penis.
penis.
Well, let's go into actor in a leading role, starting with Bradley Cooper, Silver Linings Playbook, Daniel Day-Lewis, Lincoln, Hugh Jackman for Les Mis, Joaquin Phoenix for The Master, and Denzel Washington for Flight. Who do I want to win in this one? I think I just want Hugh Jackman to win because I like him. I think he's a classy guy.
I think that's definitely how we should pick Oscar winners is who seems like a classy, cool guy.
Oh, yeah.
Who's a classy whore?
I think I'm really excited that Denzel Washington was nominated. Flight, I think, was the movie that kind of flew under the radar. I think it was a really incredible movie. I think his performance carried it, definitely. John Goodman had some amazing moments in it, but I think that you're seeing an amazing actor who really, unfortunately, gets stuck in some really crappy movies sometimes. Denzel Washington has always, I think, been a very good actor.
The Bone Collector?
The Bone Collector has its moments, but
Safe House?
Unstoppable but Denzel's got a mortgage. He's got to pay those bills. He's got kids in college, but definitely I think his performance is amazing. I'm glad to see the buzz about it, and it's just an amazing movie. And hopefully, because of the Oscars, people that maybe didn't see it in the theater because it was kind of marketed as something different than what it was, will maybe pick that up on a rental and
Didn't they
take a look at
spoil it at the SAG Awards?
They did
Yes,
spoil it
they
because
spoil it at the SAG Awards.
That clip was the emotional
It was the climax.
climax of the movie that
I'm into it.
I was really pissed when they did that. And I could tell on his face that was not the clip he wanted played. Like I could tell he was like,
some of them had
why did
terrible
they do
clips.
this?
Yesterday when we were at your place, Curtis, we started watching No Country for Old Men, and his performance in this movie reminded me a lot of Tommy Lee Jones in that you see these seasoned actors that get lost in these characters, and you believe the character they're selling you. That even though you know who they are, you know the performances they've brought before, you see this performance, you believe the character, you buy what he's selling you. And to me, that's why I love Tommy Lee Jones in No Country for Men. There's no wig, there was nothing in it. It was just him and this character that I felt was completely believable. Same thing with Denzel Washington. That's what sold me on that movie.
My pick is actually Hugh Jackman, and touching on Denzel Washington and Flight, I kind of feel the same way about it as I do Silver Linings Playbook. I think they're both good films. I don't know that they deserve the buzz that they're getting. Well, mostly Silver Linings Playbook, because I know Flight has kind of been under the radar, but I kind of feel the same way. It is a good film. I'm not nuts about it.
Well, I wanted to pick Hugh Jackman. I think he's amazing in that movie. I think he carries that movie. Sorry, I got some notes. I think he carries that movie. He's fun and he's sassy. No, but honestly, I do want to pick, and I hated this movie, but Joaquin Phoenix and The Master. It's a terrible, terrible disappointment for me, the movie The Master, personally. But I think Joaquin Phoenix was amazing in it, and I think he's...
TVGuide.com called it a big turd.
But it's been reviewed so well, and all the actors are nominated from it, and the acting is amazing. But it's like he let the camera run for 2.5 hours and let them do whatever they wanted to do. So that bugs me.
You just censored yourself.
I know.
Awesome.
My little brother, we do that in front of him. But so yeah, I'd say Joaquin. Did you see it?
That happens. I didn't see The Master, and I really wanted to.
Did anybody?
It was one that I missed, but. I think that happens with a lot. Like Flight, is a movie. I think Denzel's performance carries the movie. I think that there are a lot of movies that I think get a lot of buzz because of one amazing performance. I think Silver Linings Playbook. Brenda kind of touched on that earlier in when we hung out before. That it was more of a Lifetime movie.
That was me. I know
that wasn't my quote, but yes, I agree with that.
No, listen, we'll get to Best Supporting Actor, but Best Actor, Bradley Cooper is really good in that movie. Bradley Cooper, like Hugh Jackman and Les Mis, carries that movie. Like all these men, actually, although I haven't seen Flight, but they carry their movie in a way that I never thought Bradley Cooper could be that good. And he went to the Actors Studio. I mean, so like you knew he was going to be good eventually, hopefully, but he's actually good in this movie. It's very surprising.
Eventually.
He was on Sex and the City.
Was he?
Yeah, remember when Carrie went home with that guy because she thought she was getting too old, and she like is smoking in his car, and she like gets out of the roof.
Oh my goodness.
And he's like, "Is this you on the cover of this magazine?" That was Bradley Cooper. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Fun fact.
Best Supporting Actor.
Yes, moving on to Best Supporting. Did everybody get to talk about who they pick?
Yes, Ron.
Oh, I'm just making sure. I didn't want to leave you out. Like that last time you left me in the street. Actor in a supporting role.
Oh, there's a story there, I think. What happened?
Take it away, Jordan. Actor in a supporting role.
Actor in a supporting role, Alan Arkin for Argo, Robert De Niro for Silver Linings Playbook, Philip Seymour Hoffman, The Master, Tommy Lee Jones, Lincoln, and Christoph Waltz for Django Unchained. And I think it's really interesting to note that John Goodman, I think, deserved a nomination for Argo.
Or Flight.
Or Flight. I think he was really snubbed twice, and that's probably why he was drunk off his ass at the SAG Awards.
I think he just gives bad press. They say he gives terrible interviews. He's rude. He doesn't want to sit down for anything.
It's because he made that Kevin Smith movie, Red State, with him.
I love that.
That's a black mark on his resume.
Oh, no, it's good. No, but he used to be a drunk, and he doesn't drink anymore.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So it's funny how he probably still looks drunk.
I thought he was.
That was the role of Flight.
I thought he looked drunk on stage at the SAG Awards. But Alan Arkin is great. He's kind of that. Everything he does is good, but I really think John Goodman was snubbed there. But I think Christoph Waltz again. Django, I think it was an amazing performance. I think Leonardo DiCaprio was overlooked for that movie, but I think that's definitely my choice.
Okay, we're getting to you, Brenda. Go ahead.
Sorry, I have a frog in my throat. But I'm going to have to agree with Christoph Waltz. I totally think Leonardo DiCaprio was snubbed. But out of all of them, I'm going to have to go with Christoph Waltz. A lot of people said that he's just reprising his role from Inglourious Bastards, but I don't think that's the case.
I'm one of them.
And I really think he does a good job of kind of, I'm not introducing us, but just...
He leads us into the movie.
He leads us into the movie, and it probably
because it's
is
a leading role, not a supporting role. Category fraud.
Well played there, Curtis.
Thank you. Sorry.
But he does a good job of kind of like showing us, I guess, a different perspective into this world because he is white, but he's not American, so he doesn't. He's kind of not really neutral, but he's kind of in the middle of like.
That was interesting about his character. That he looked at everything and how people react to things like, "Why do you care? What does it matter if he's walking with me?" Yeah, Your picks, Curtis?
I think it's interesting, too. They mentioned this when they talked about the nominations, but these men have all won before, and I love that.
Oh, she was fantastic, Emma Stone.
Oh,
he
and
already
she
has
was
an Oscar.
He already
has an Oscar.
And recently, like Alan Arkin was recently, Philip Seymour Hoffman was in the last 10 years, Christoph Waltz, Tommy Lee Jones won, I guess, like 20 years ago, but still, Robert De Niro hasn't won, for 30 or 40 years. But I want to hate on the movie, but Robert De Niro was really good in a supporting role.
I'm sorry, you want to hate on? You've been hating on it since we walked out of that auditorium.
I just tried to hating on it. I like it. It's good. It's not bad. Jennifer Lawrence. But anyways, no, but Robert De Niro is good. It's a supporting performance. He supports the plot. He's good. He's not too open and emotional like you want him to be, except for that one scene, but he kind of holds back, which I like. So I won't say Robert De Niro.
I'd like to pick for Best Supporting, I think Tommy Lee Jones. I thought he was fantastic in Lincoln. If I had to do a backup, I think Tommy Lee Jones would be the one to win. I don't think there's anybody that I think I want to win. I think Tommy Lee Jones will win. Actress in a leading role, I think it would be kind of fun if we're going through these and we kind of think of a movie that we like them in from the past, or not.
Oh, Jessica Chastain?
Mama. Actress in a leading role, Jessica Chastain, 0 Dark 30. Jennifer Lawrence, Silver Linings Playbook. Oh. How do you pronounce that name?
Oh, Quivanzane. Oh, Emmanuel.
Oh,
Rita.
there's two of them I can't pronounce. I'm going to let you take this over, Curtis.
Oh, thank you. There's no other nominees, just Jessica Chastain. No, Emmanuel Riva for Amour, Quivanzane Wallace, Beasts of Southern Wild, and Naomi Watts for The Impossible, which Jennifer Lawrence did have a good joke on Quivanzane. She goes, the alphabet called, they want their letters back.
On the SNL.
Because her name's so long. And she said,
Jessica, 6-year-old.
Yeah, she said, Jessica Chast ain't going to win my Oscar, which is very rude because that is my last name. I would be honestly happy with anyone except Jennifer Lawrence winning this.
I'm kind of
anyone.
That's true.
My
That's a good
mother
point.
could win this award, and I'd be happy.
She raised you. She deserves an Oscar.
She spent through a lot.
Who has seen Beasts of the Southern Wild? Like, who is?
Oh, we have.
She's good. A lot of child performances. You're like, oh, like they, and they did this and they did that. It's a great performance.
Yeah.
It's not a great movie. It's a good movie, but her performance is really good.
You kind of carried the movie.
Good. She did, but it's weird when you see her in interviews. It's kind of like, did you ever see the girl who played Precious? And you're like, that didn't connect. You're really acting. She wasn't playing overweight like she was, but like the little girl, she's completely different, and so I liked that, and that made me feel like, oh, she's giving her performance.
I want to watch it again because I think I might have dismissed it too early, Beasts of Southern Wild, but she was beautiful in that film.
Yeah.
Her performance was just there was just no kind of, she wasn't jaded. There was nothing about it that, it felt so innocent.
Natural.
It felt very natural.
Well, and that's what I wanted to say, not to interrupt everybody. Again, with two of these performances that I liked, Jessica Chastain and Naomi Watts, a lot of people are dismissing them, which really hurts my feelings. But if the parts were played by a man in an action movie, an emotional big action movie, they'd be like, oh my God, he was so great. He saved the family. He saved the day. But they're played by women. And so I think there's this weird dichotomy. Like when Jeremy Renner was in The Hurt Locker, it's kind of a similar part. And he got like, everybody loved him, and they both got nominated, I know, but I hate that criticism when people are like, oh, they're not doing that much, that movie. They didn't have that many big scenes. I'm like, that's not what acting is. It's acting. It's not like... Jessica Chastain did have that one acting clip scene.
Well, we walked out of
0
it.
Dark 30. I knew.
Like, that's a clip right there for the Oscars.
She's like, you want to be the one? I loved it.
Who wants to go into Best Supporting Actresses? Oh, did we finish with Actress Leading Role?
I didn't give my pick,
Sorry,
but
I jumped.
I don't know that I'm comfortable giving a pick right now because there's, out of these 5 films, I've only seen 0 Dark 30 and Silver Linings Playbook. And
who would you pick out of those two?
if I had to pick out of just those two, it would be Jessica Chastain.
Of course.
But the other 3 do really
Stop pointing that gun at her.
No, like, you know my feelings on Silver Linings Playbook, and I think that also goes to the performances. Even though they were pretty good, I don't know that they're Oscar-worthy.
We need more
Oh,
pillows
she's
in
going
here.
to win.
I'm fine going into actress into a supporting role.
Let me just say who I think should win Best Actress.
Go ahead, Rob.
Curtis Chastain.
Biggest diva. I was not
You should see what we had to get for him here.
I was not nominated. I just wanted a Dr.
He
Pepper.
demanded Dr. Pepper.
Cold chilled by a twink.
Flat.
I I think Naomi Watts. I think it'd be beautiful to see her win. I don't think Jennifer Lawrence deserves it.
No. I'm adamant. The actress category is very personal.
I do like her, though.
I like
really
her.
enjoy her. I mean, her performances may not be amazing, and I thought she was really great in Hunger Games. Like, that was really one of my favorite
She's good in
action
Winter's
movies
Bone.
in the recent couple of
She's
years.
great in Winter's Bone.
She was
And,
very good. in
Yeah, Winter's Bone, amazing.
X-Men First Class. I mean,
That's Winter's Boner.
But I think I like her. I find her very charming. I like her in her acceptance speeches. She seems very genuine. So
Okay, I guess we're going on to actress in a supporting role now.
Moving on.
Amy Adams, The Master. Sally Field, Lincoln. Anne Hathaway, Les Mis. Helen Hunt, The Sessions. And Jackie Weaver for Silver Linings Playbook. I'm not her biggest fan, but I'm going to have to give it to Anne Hathaway for Les Mis.
Because you dreamed a dream.
She totally
I'm going to
did.
hold off on mine.
I did love Helen Hunt in The Sessions.
what,
I
you have
love
another
The Sessions
podcast to
in
go to
general.
after this?
I have to leave. Yeah, I'm getting a phone call.
But yeah, I'm going to have to give it to Anne Hathaway.
Gentlemen, Jordan.
I really, the more this award season goes on, the less I like Anne Hathaway. And I don't know if I'm letting the fact that I don't like her as a person kind of color my opinion of her performance, but I thought her performance was good. I thought it was nuanced. I thought it was all the things that you want it to be. I thought it was one of the high points of the movie. I still felt it was disappointing. I don't think that it is as buzzworthy as it has become. And definitely, I think she's going to win. I think she's been anointed as the winner since that movie started being marketed. I don't think I'm going to be surprised to see anyone but her winning on Oscar night, regardless. But Helen Hunt, I've heard a lot of good buzz about her performance. And definitely Sally Field, I think, did an okay job in Lincoln, but not amazing. So.
Not crazy enough for you?
I love Sally Field, I really do, but I had some historical beefs with her casting.
Oh, that
as
was me
Mary
rolling my
Sutherland.
eyes.
You can actually hear that probably.
Insert eye roll.
And I do like her, but I think Anne Hathaway's going to take it.
Well,
Big surprise.
for me, I think the clear winner here is Jackie Weaver. That performance in Silver Linings Playbook, that one little scene where
Rob's
she gets hit in the
joking.
face, when she gets elbowed in the face.
She acted that bruise onto her face.
Mesmerizing. Oops, sorry. I made noise. No, I think I don't really care who wins in Best Supporting Actress. Sally Fields, I guess. I haven't seen Les Mis, but after all the shit that we've been giving Anne Hathaway,
She's earned it.
I am excited that at the SAG Awards she did give a shout out to Dark Knight Rises, which I really enjoyed her performance in that.
I
thought
did
she
hate-
brought a lot of good things to that movie.
I hated her shout out at the Golden Globes. Blurg. Like, oh, come on.
And then she interrupted someone else's speech to thank someone else. I was like, Anne, sit down.
Humble pie.
My Best Supporting Actress is not nominated. I watch a lot of movies, and I get worked up about people like I do with Jessica Chastain. And when I saw The Paperboy, which is not a good movie,
You need to get us to watch that.
it's terrible. I rewatched it the other day. I mean, it's just terrible. It's a terrible movie. But Nicole Kidman plays the shit out of that part, and I swear, she's so good. You watch that whole movie waiting to see her again. You're like, where is she? Where is she? Where is she? She's that good. And what's funny is because they originally cast Sofia Vergara, and she had dropped out, and they're like, well, what about Nicole Kidman? Like, she's not doing anything. So you can tell what the tone of the movie
She's still in
wanted
post
to
on
be.
Rabbit Hole 2.
Exactly.
In what role is Sofia Vergara and Nicole Kidman the top two choices?
Exactly. And so, but you can tell that what the tone of the movie would have been if it was Sofia Vergara, but it's Nicole Kidman, and she just plays it so well, and it just really pisses me off. She got nominated for SAG, she got nominated for Golden Globe, she can't move her forehead. She's done so much to get nominated, and then she couldn't. And it shows to me that she does not care what people think. She just wants to do interesting, good stuff. And that's why, even though sometimes you hate her, where she does the stupid movies like The Invasion or stuff like that.
What's that recent Adam Sandler one she was in?
Yes, just go with it. Or it's the same thing with Denzel. She's got a paycheck too. She can't do a bunch of auteur films, but she
Can't work scale.
Exactly. She's on almost $1,000, but I can't even just go and rent it. And I don't. It's terrible. So don't don't come back and say I watched that movie and it was awful. I'm telling you
Danny
right
Movies,
now.
the podcast.
Yeah.
To kind of get through this section a little bit faster, let's skip over. Do you guys want to do just do directing, or is there another category do you guys have a little more that you want to focus on? I mean, there's animated feature film. Wreck-It Ralph should win.
Or Brave.
Documentary feature.
I've never seen Brave.
We can do just directing if you guys want to move over to directing.
Before we do touch on that, I do want to touch on my love for Anna Karenina. I totally think
Me too.
it should do cinematography, costume design, and I don't know if it's nominated for art direction, but it should totally get it for that if it is.
It has 4 nominations with no Best Picture. Original
Like,
score.
besides just being a beautiful film to look at, I think it was really good. It was really effective.
I thought it was a really well acted movie too.
Yes.
I'm kind of sad that none of the actors, like Jude Law was great in it. Keira Knightley is good in those movies, and she was good in that. Nothing else, but
Well, best director, Amor, Michael Haneke.
Hanukkah.
Isn't it Hanukkah?
Haneke.
It's Haneke.
Don't make him Jewish.
Beast of the Southern Wild, Ben Zeitlin. Life of Pi, Ang Lee. Lincoln, Steven Spielberg. And Silver Linings Playbook, David O. Russell.
Oof. Steven Spielberg's gonna win.
I'm gonna go with Michael Haneke.
Would that be cool?
That would be amazing.
The only feeling I really have about this category is that Ben Affleck wasn't nominated.
Yeah, no, people were totally
and
snubbed.
Catherine Bigelow.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Overlooked. And I
Those
think-
two movies directed themselves.
Dude, they said there's a thing like movie musicals. The director rarely gets nominated. So, like, I mean, Les Mis director wasn't going to get nominated, but it is interesting. Dreamgirls didn't get one. Moulin Rouge didn't get a director
We'll talk
nomination.
about Tom Hooper later. Don't worry.
Well, he's terrible, but still,
Yes.
come on. Yeah. King's Speech sucks.
I think from those batch of nominees, Lincoln, it was a well-made movie. But it'd be nice to see Catherine Bigelow win it again for Zero Dark 30.
Thank you. I'll tell her you said that.
Oh, is that who you're having dinner with after?
Yeah, I have to leave now.
Curtis has been showing up at press events telling people he's Jessica Chastain. He gets their swag bag.
My drag look.
It's about
Listen,
30 or 45
she's-
minutes before they figure it out.
We're both fair. We're both from California. We're vegan. I don't have a 3-legged dog, but I could get one. She's dating Loki from the Avengers. I don't date white men, but still, I could find one if I needed to.
They are out there.
They're out there.
They're out there somewhere.
somewhere. So we have a lot in common. So I'll stop
You're
talking about her.
practical twins. I
We
mean,
are,
really.
except I am not 35.
Yes.
But she doesn't talk about her age.
Is she 35?
No, I think she says like her range is 30 to 35.
Yeah, she's never really. But
That's
so
the
they
box
got,
she
they got her
checks off
yearbook
on.
from
Oh,
high
really?
school. Yes, they got her yearbook from high school so they could figure out how old she was.
Well, that's covering this year's nominations. So I think we're all anxiously waiting to see what happens on the 24th. One thing we didn't talk about is quickly, your opinions, because we're going to go into previous Oscar winners and nominees. But the host, Seth MacFarlane, I think it's interesting. I think it's way too young for the Academy, but I think it's interesting that he got. I just hope he doesn't do a bunch of dick and fart jokes and Family Guy references.
I'm excited. It is something different. I understand the class level that like the Oscars like to keep, but I also think they should keep it kind of fresh, and I think this also attracts a younger audience that may not be watching.
What did James Franco and Anne Hathaway not win you over?
Oh.
They weren't young enough when
I
he
don't know
tweeted on stage.
Anything about Seth MacFarlane except he's cute.
Well, I'm okay.
He
You have
sings.
to. Well, young is good, but also like good hosts also actually helps.
Where's Haley Joel Osment? Oh, he's too old. What if Dakota Fanning hosted?
In her outfit from Twilight.
yeah. Oh, she's too old now. Damn it.
She's not Steve Martin old.
Well, during the homework that Rob sent us, we were watching the old clips of Oscars, and I really forgot how much I love Billy Crystal. And
He's
the way that he hosted,
funny.
I think that he's just one of those... He's one of those... I mean, he's not one of those comedians I would ever go see in concert, or I would, pick up the best of Billy Crystal. But he's like Steve Martin. He's just one of those like, oh, I know him.
They're
And
comfortable.
isn't he-
You feel great with them.
And his openings to the show are always amazing. I mean, he just, and he's in some of the best movies. He's in The Princess Bride, which is one of my favorite movies of all time. And I just think he's one of those, I would love to see him back every year. And,
He was terrible last year. I don't know if you remember last year.
Well, what if it was like an edgy comedian?
Well,
Cat
they were supposed
Cat
to
Williams.
Yeah. And Sarah Silverman.
Well, last year, remember the whole controversy of how Brett Ratner was let go because he had brought in Eddie Murphy, and then Eddie Murphy made a joke about how rehearsals were gay or something like that, and he was let go. So that's why Billy Crystal was asked very last minute to host the Oscars. So maybe it's not his fault that
that show was a little hastily put together, and there was some, and then I think too there was a kind of that pendulum swing back from the Anne Hathaway James Franco debacle that like, oh no, we have to go way traditional. Like, is Bob Hope available?
Dick Van Dyke.
He was so cute. I love him so much.
Rob and I were talking. We kind of want the thing they did a couple years ago, where like the five people who'd won before come out and they talk to the actors.
That was great.
Like, I love when actors stroke each other off.
Yeah.
On stage, not in the movies.
So are we now talking about the porn awards?
Yeah.
Yes.
What if Sarah Silverman had that joke? She's like, the porn awards are just like the Spirit Awards. She's like, they both have awards for DP, but they're not the same thing.
That Meryl Streep wins them all.
Yeah, she
Every time she just sweeps them.
Meryl
She
Streep.
shows up at every award show. She showed up at yours here at the apartments.
She did.
She should have.
I've been
playing
rewatching
Maria.
The Iron Lady actually, and I'm
Realizing how shitty of a movie that is.
It's so
I'm dissecting
terrible.
it, and I'm realizing there are parts of it that are good, but it really, on the whole, is a really bad movie. It was really badly done.
The pills are non-negotiable. That's all I remember.
And I think
from
too,
it.
it's just one of those movies that it was my problem with Hyde Park on Hudson, not to beat a dead horse, but is that you take these
Like
really
Laura Linney.
You won't hear the
fascinating-
first episode for 5 more years, so it's not a dead horse at this point.
Yeah, but that was a movie that was about Franklin Roosevelt and Eleanor Roosevelt, and it's those movies where they take these really dynamic, three-dimensional, larger-than-life characters like Margaret Thatcher, whether you agree with her politics or not, and they really water them down so much that they're not interesting anymore. And I think Margaret Thatcher is an incredibly funny person. If you ever see her speeches and kind of read what she's written, she's an incredibly endearing person, charming. She had that Ronald Reagan charm to her, and I think that was...
She too was senile.
Just a reminder.
Ronald Reagan, say what you will about Ronald Reagan, he was charming and well.
He was an
liked and-
actor.
Exactly.
Reminder, Iron
George
Lady was
Bush used to
directed
be
by the
cute.
director of Mamma Mia.
In his day.
Yeah,
This
he
is
was.
true. So you can't forget that.
And the musical numbers did hurt it.
Iron Lady.
and
Iron Lady.
The coal miners.
I want
that
the
was
Falkland
amazing.
Islands back.
We got 15 minutes to kill. Well, not kill. We're going to try to get through these nominations. Well, what I like to do is a little bit of speed.
Are we looking? Are we?
Are we doing? Where's my tote bag?
No. I want to do a little... I didn't mean to say actual speed. I wanted to say that let's see how fast we can get through these, kind of talk about some of the previous winners, losers, nominees, who we think should have won, if we liked that person, if Curtis is friends with them or has already slept with them. We don't
Thank
know
you.
yet. So we'll
Janet
find out.
McTeer.
In 2012, the films from 2011, Best Picture went to The Artist. The nominees that year were The Descendants, Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close, The Help, Hugo, Midnight in Paris, Moneyball, The Tree of Life, and War Horse. Curtis?
This has to be the worst year for Best Picture.
Thank you,
Almost
thank you.
8 of these movies, I was like, this got nominated. These are terrible. Let me just go down this list. The Artist, not good. I sat there. I watched it. I was like,
love The Artist.
I'm supposed to laugh. Get up in here. Not in. Am I supposed to laugh? It's not funny. It's not sad. It's not. I don't even. And I've seen silent films, so I'm not a total.
Did you
dipshit.
turn on the TV?
Oh, although I did think he should have won Best Actor. It's weird how I can dislike a movie, but I can realize that performance is good. He was.
Keep going
good.
down that list.
Okay, Lo Siento. Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close, please.
Horrible.
The
it was
Descendants.
horrible.
Oh, I fell asleep.
Horrible.
The Help. Are you kidding? You is not good.
It's a
Hugo
movie
was
that white
was
people-
okay.
White people like that movie.
Oh, white people!
It
I
was the
cried.
white people movie of the year.
Jessica Chastain's in it. Hugo is okay. It wasn't amazing. Midnight in Paris, I love.
Okay, I was gonna.
I do. I love Woody
Reach
Allen.
across the-
No, I love Woody Allen.
I hated Midnight in Paris.
It's-
I wanted my money back.
love
Are you
that
kidding
movie.
me?
At
I watch
River
it like
Theater, so upset.
every couple of weeks. I watch it. I think it's one of his best
no.
in his 40-year career.
I'm not too crazy about Owen Wilson, and I loved him in this movie.
They were all
Yeah.
good. Even though Marion Cotillard had a terrible part in that movie.
Good to you. Never
Okay, look at this.
forget it.
Moneyball. Are you kidding me? Moneyball. It was terrible. The Tree of Life. The Tree of Life is okay.
It has Jessica Chastain.
Oh, Jessica Chastain! I forgot. It's like mental masturbation. War Horse. Are you kidding? War Horse. There was a horse. You could have put it on a stick
If
and rode it
Jessica
around.
Chastain had played that
She played the
horse,
horse. She did. She
you would
she
have
did.
loved the horse.
I did love the Chastain movies. No, and even The Help
Bias
wasn't that
much?
good. Even The Help wasn't that good. It wasn't.
Well,
and you're right. It's a movie white people
That's
love.
the year that The Artist won, and it also took Best Director. He was up against Woody Allen for Midnight in Paris, Terrence Malick for The Tree of Life, Alexander Payne for Descendants, and Martin Scorsese for Hugo. Did anybody other than Curtis think that he was worth winning for Best Director?
I didn't really have a strong opinion about any of the directors, other than
Same here.
Terrence Malick, who I'm still upset about The New World for him.
He used to make some great movies.
By the third hour in that movie.
Oh my god, I think it's still going on. I think it's,
There's
it's
a little
still on
dollar
my
theater
DVD.
out there in Pasadena.
What did Christopher Plummer said? He said, "I will never work with him again unless he gets a screenwriter."
Oh my
He goes, he just rewrites his
I
own
watched that
scripts.
movie. I watched The New World for a class. I was actually a part of an assignment, and
A
I
sleep
literally
study?
every 20 minutes paused it and just paced around my bedroom, saying like, "I'm dropping out of school. I'm changing my major. Like this is ridiculous."
Oh, there's a
Anybody?
On the
Anybody?
Best Actor.
Hispanic
it's
nominated
same,
for Best Actor.
Same here with. I don't have a strong opinion, but I did like The Artist, so I didn't mind that he won. I'm not even
Brenda,
gonna
you
try
want to lead us into Best Actor for 2011?
Okay. John Dujardin for The Artist. Damien Bichir, A Better Life. George Clooney, The Descendants. Gary Oldman, Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. And Brad Pitt for Moneyball.
It was a really low point in movies that
Yeah.
last year.
No, it is. I
Yes,
mean,
Meryl
it's
Streep won for Iron Ladies this year.
Gary Oldman should have won that.
Gary Oldman was amazing.
Yes.
In, that
Yeah.
movie.
I mean, Jean Dujardin was good, but I mean, come on.
Well,
And I did like A Better Life.
I owed my boyfriend such an expensive dinner after watching Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy because
It's
he
tough.
I can't
hated
see
it.
him liking that movie.
He was so pissed the entire time.
I think I was the only one in the entire theater when I saw it that actually liked it.
I
Like,
liked it. I won't say
Everyone
it
else was
again.
crying.
Everyone else was like leaving and like booing, and I'm like standing up by myself, like clapping. I
Did
loved
you guys
it.
think that how you pronounce his
Jean
name?
Dujardin.
That guy is deserved. I think he
Yeah,
deserved it.
he did.
I did.
He was good.
It would have been nice to see Gary Oldman win it though. Now Meryl Streep winning for Iron Lady.
It's just not.
That was a collective eye roll there.
In the past
Even
10
she
years,
was surprised that she won.
I
She
would have
got
been.
better
But
play.
she also said in her speech, she's like, I don't care what anybody thinks.
You gotta
Though.
keep it
Everybody's
close.
probably rolling their eyes right now.
This is one of those where I had a performance kind of like this year with Nicole Kidman, where I had a performance that I loved, and I would push people into watching it because I was like, this is a good performance. That was Rooney Mara and the girl with the dragon tattoo. They're like, oh no, I've seen the original and it's better. And I'd say, suck it and go see this movie. It's so good, and she is so good in it.
Yes.
That's all I have to say.
I'll say that she did better than I expected, but I don't think she should have won.
Well,
Well, look
Yeah.
at the list. You have Glenn Close,
Viola
and
Davis
Albert
was
Nobbs,
good.
which
God,
for a movie that she produced and tried to get made for many years, it was a very disappointing movie. Albert Nobbs, Viola Davis for The Help, Rooney Mara for Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, Michelle Williams.
I love Michelle Williams. I
None
think
of
she's amazing.
White people love her.
I do. We do. I'm sorry.
None of those, none
from
of those
Jen on
movies
Dawson's
really
Creek.
jump out though. Like none of those performances are just like that.
I think the
That
whole
was
year.
amazing. It was a very disappointing.
I'm feeling that
Well,
year. If
let's-
Melissa McCarthy could get a nomination, it was a slow year.
Oh, hey.
Sorry.
Best Supporting Actor: Christopher Plummer for Beginners, Kenneth Branagh for My Week with Marilyn, Jonah Hill. It is a slow year. Moneyball.
Nick Nolte.
Hey.
I like Nick Nolte.
Max von Sydow.
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 Sydow. Extremely. I hated Extremely Loud and Incredibly
Me
Close.
too.
What?
What is
yes.
it?
Oh, what?
Sorry.
Interrupt
I
him.
didn't know what I was reading.
I will say, with the two best supporting actor and actress winners, I was happy for both of them. I loved Beginners. I thought it was such a
Me
cute
too.
film. I thought Christopher Plummer's performance was great. It gave that little boost to the movie. Ewan McGregor had it on his shoulders, but it was all based around his relationship with Christopher Plummer's character who played his dad, and I just love the film. It was, even though it was kind of sad, it
couldn't
did
finish
kind of
it.
like, I walked out of there like
Beginners,
it
I
was
couldn't
kind of like a
finish it.
feel good
Too
movie,
sad.
but in a weird sense.
It was.
too slow.
I adored the movie. Did you not see it?
Yeah, I couldn't finish it.
Oh, I adore it. I think it's so good.
Well, it doesn't look
And
like
he
we're
deserved.
going to be able to make it through many of these. Someone wants to pick a year and just skip to that. We can go all the
Let's
way back
find a
to
good year.
2005. Well, the
No.
year that All Foreigners won.
Not the one that the King's Speech won.
They were
taking our jobs. Jessica Chastain couldn't get work that year because Marion Cotillard took all the good ingenue roles.
Marion? No, that's a good year with Javier Bardem, Tilda Swinton, Marion Cotillard winning, and Daniel Day-Lewis. That's a good. Those were good performances.
Well, we're
movies.
skipping over to 2007 films.
Oh, sorry, I thought you.
That was the year that she won.
Oh yeah.
Best Picture
Besides
that
Kate
year
Blanchett.
was Atonement, Juno, Michael Clayton, There Will Be Blood, and the winner was No Country for Old Men.
Those are 5 good movies.
Amazing movies.
Yeah.
You know what? That brings up a good point. I'm not sure how happy I am about them adding or going up to like 9 or 10 films for Best Picture.
But some years I think it works. Like this year, it works because you're like, okay, that's a little movie and that's a comedy and that's a drama.
This year has a
and
good
action.
representation
But not the other
of
year.
cinema.
Yeah, with Moneyball in there.
With
Like you're
Moneyball.
just throwing fillers in there now.
Yeah.
Moneyball sucks. But this year's good, and all those movies are great. Juno still holds up, strangely enough.
They all do. I just recently rewatched Atonement, and Michael Clayton's one of my favorite films.
Me too.
Oh, Tilda Swinton is amazing in Michael Clayton.
That was one of my
think-
favorite wins. Because, I don't know, because she can do no wrong.
I love her. She's just any person who just absorbs herself into roles the way she does. She's kind of the female Daniel Day-Lewis.
Isn't it weird she's only been nominated once?
Who, Tilda Swinton?
She feels like she should have been nominated 5 different
Even
times.
in really like in Constantine, which I think is a horrible movie, she's really good. She's the high point of that.
I still
movie.
haven't seen We Need to Talk About Kevin, which I really want
And
to see.
I Am Love? You've never seen I Am Love?
No, I haven't seen I Am Love yet.
Oh, I love I Am Love.
You know, one of my
That's
favorite movies
amazing.
with her is The Deep End, that little small
Yes!
thriller. That year, Best Directors were nominated Paul Thomas Anderson from There Will Be Blood, the prequel to The Master. Tony Gilroy for
Thank
Michael
you.
Clayton.
Thank you.
Jason Reitman for Juno. Julian Schnabel for, and I can't believe I forgot that he was nominated for this. This is one of my favorite films, The Diving Bell and Butterfly. The winners that year went to Joel Cohen and Ethan Cohen for No Country for Old Men.
Love
Deserved.
the Coen brothers.
It's Paul Thomas Anderson's first director nomination, which I was happy about.
Anybody want to take on Best Actor? If you guys haven't seen any more work from the director Diving Bell and Butterfly, his stuff is just amazing.
What did he do after that?
His first film was Basquiat.
Yeah.
It's
And then he did
About the
Before Night
artist?
a
Falls.
biofilm about like one of my favorite artists.
He did do Before Night Falls.
Yeah.
He recently did Mural with the chick
then-
from Slumdog Millionaire. I heard that was good.
But that's...
Best Actor for that year.
There he is again, Daniel Day-Lewis.
Oh, Daniel Day-Lewis, There Will Be Blood. George Clooney, Michael Clayton, Johnny Depp, Sweeney Todd, The Demon
forgot
Barber
Johnny
of
Depp
Fleet
was
Street, Tommy Lee Jones, In the Valley of Elah,
I
Viggo
love that
Mortensen,
movie.
Eastern Promises.
See? 5 good performances.
If you guys haven't seen that in Valley of Ella, it's Valley of Ella.
It's
that I can pronounce.
very surprising.
It's from the
'Cause
it's
it's
a
in
writer-director of
Spanish.
Crash. It's
Don't let that hold it against you.
I love Crash.
Crash is good.
Crash sucks.
Oh, I love Crash.
Crash is a race movie that white people like.
That's why I like
White
it.
people are like, oh, I feel so bad that I told my maid to clean.
Let's
Like,
get in our SUVs and drive.
I
to
fired my maid after Crash.
You said, I'm going to
I
respect you and I'm going to put you back on the street.
Exactly.
Babel makes me feel better about being a minority than that movie.
If we haven't established that you're white, that established it.
Okay.
It wasn't our voices that established that.
I could have seen any of those actors actually winning. Tommy Lee Jones was fantastic in that. Yeah, Viggo Mortensen. That's
Even Johnny Depp.
That's a good year.
No, very good. This all
Best
looking.
Best Actress.
Best Actress, Marion Cotillard for Olivia and Rose. Kate Blanchett for that horrible movie.
I know.
Oh,
I know.
there's that turd.
I have a bit of trivia on this one in a second.
Julie Christie for Away From Her, Laura Linney for The Savages, and Ellen Page for Juno.
I thought Savages was overrated.
It was
I
a
really
really
liked
weak
it.
year for Best Actress. I thought.
No, well, there's Savages is. I have like that kind of relationship with my brother, so that movie. Oh, Jacob, if you're listening to this, so that movie, like I got the relationships of what they were going through, so I think that's why. But what's funny about this year, that Kate Blanchett spot there, where she's in that terrible movie, Angelina Jolie was getting nominated for everything.
For A Mighty
Heart, and then all of a sudden they're like, "Oh, you're not getting the Oscar nomination." That movie's so good, and
Mighty
she's
Heart?
so good in A Mighty Heart. It's an amazing movie. No one's seen it. I won't ever watch it again, and I own it.
What's the name? Dan Furterman.
Dan Fetterman, yeah, plays the husband. Yeah,
Michael Winterbottom.
Who?
Bottom.
That's the sequel to the porn version of Winter's Bone.
Winter's Bottom.
Winter's Bottom.
Best Actor, Best Supporting Actor, Javier Bardem No Country for Old Men, who actually took the Oscar that year. Casey Affleck for the assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford. One of my favorite films.
Never seen it.
Me
I know.
It is just beautiful. Philip Seymour Hoffman for Charlie Wilson's War. Hal Holbrook for Into the Wild. Another great film.
That movie is amazing.
Tom Wilkinson for Michael Clayton. Tom Wilkinson, what a great character actor. I mean, I can't.
Best Exotic Marigold
I hate to
Hotel.
call him a character actor, but it's just he's such a strong, just such a strong actor. He deserves to play more things.
He plays old well.
And gay now.
Yeah, if nobody's
Okay.
seen it, check out In the Bedroom.
Yes,
Nobody's
he got
seen
nominated
it.
for
It was
that.
nominated for Best Picture that year.
In the Bedroom is
yeah.
amazing.
It's so good.
It's
Okay,
a little,
in
it's
our
a little
group.
film by Todd Fields.
Who did Little Children.
Wait till Twitter gets made.
That was a good year.
Best Supporting Actors that year went to Tilda Swinton for Michael Clayton. Kate Blanchett was double nominated in both
Deservedly.
Best Actress and Best Supporting. Ruby Dee for American Gangster. So what's her name?
Saoirse.
What?
Saoirse.
Saoirse. She's the same girl from
Hannah.
Hannah.
Yeah.
And Amy Ryan from Gone Baby Gone.
Great category, I think, except
Yeah.
Ruby Dee.
Gone Baby Gone was a really good movie.
I just think she had like those 2 scenes and that was it. But Tilda Swinton, that's a great win.
She's amazing.
Yeah. She had that one coming.
Not nominated for her role as social services in Moonlight Kingdom.
Oh.
Moonrise Kingdom.
Well, that's we wanted to talk a little bit more about previous winners, but we again ran a little long. So sorry for Matt Damon that wasn't able to get on and talk. How's that joke?
Tired. Where's my tote bag?
He's been watching
At
The
a-
New World over there. Yeah.
At our next podcast, we're going to cover, since we're going to record it 2 weeks from now, and it's going to be around Valentine's Day for all those that have love or want love or whatever kind of love you like. We're going to cover romantic films that we feel that are romantic, and we were supposed to toss it around and name a movie that you think is romantic, but I don't think we actually thought about that. Maybe
I
I
thought
did.
about my
they
romantic.
thought about it.
Yeah.
I'll let you guys
I've
start
got
it.
several.
Yeah.
Well,
Rob's is Mi
Jordan
Vida
started.
Loca.
I think my favorite romantic film is The Other Sister, which I absolutely love, with Juliette Lewis and Giovanni Ribisi. I think it's one of those movies that I watch over and over again, and I do not like romantic movies. Brenda, I'm going to punch you in the face when you're done with this. But it's one of those movies that it's kind of like my go-to film when I'm feeling a little down, or I just like have it on. I just love that movie. I don't. I love that movie. I cry every single time, and I think that Diane Keaton's really good in it. I just think it's an amazing little film. I mean, it's not going to win any awards, and it's not going to be in anyone's top 10 list, but I think it's a really cute movie. And for someone who hates romantic movies, I really don't.
about Bad Boy Bubby, the way he loved his mother.
Who's that?
Bad Boy Bubby.
I just bring in the
Is that another porn?
Dan.
Uh,
Dan's not paying attention.
There's that one guy. Okay,
Well,
I know that movie.
I guess I have to choose Annie Hall because I mean, I don't know. That's a great romance. I know it doesn't have the best ending. That's not a spoiler. But it just showed a real relationship and the jokes that you get with each other and the little inside things that you say. And I don't know, just about being inside of a relationship and everybody around it. I don't know. It's too deep. It's too soon for me.
so I can't pick The Other Sister, but you can pick Annie Hall.
Annie Hall's a romance. That one's about. Well, I don't know. Can I say that on the air?
What?
They're mentally retarded.
You can say that it's what the movie's about.
It's in the.
I
it's in
just
the
love when
synopsis.
Diane Keaton falls in love. Anything with Diane Keaton.
She's in The Other Sister.
Yeah, but she doesn't fall in love with anybody.
And she falls out of love.
with her
Brenda,
retarded.
It's a
your favorite?
multi-layered film.
I actually have like a list. I'm gonna leave them for next time, but it just popped in my head. Buffalo '66 by Vincent Gallo.
Really?
Yeah, I know. Like it's Vincent Gallo is kind of like a train wreck, and you know, some of his other films like Brown
He
Bunny.
was in
it's just
2
like,
days in.
It's just
New
like
York?
him filleting himself for 2 hours, but
Literally by the end of it, he's
Right?
getting filleted. Yeah.
But Buffalo '66 is such a cute, understated and kind of like unexpected romance film, and I think it was really because of both of their performances, his and Christina Ricci's. And it's kind of out there, but I thought it was really cute. Underlying, it's like
Angelica
a cute little
Houston
love
was
story.
fantastic in that.
Yeah.
I'm glad
that's
you didn't
right.
pick what would have been my pick was Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. I think that
That is
movie,
on my top 5 though.
that movie just deals with heartbreak and love so much, and just
Watch it.
really. Oh,
I
it's
feel
so
like
amazing.
my one in my mind erased after I saw it.
But that's gonna be our topic for our next podcast. Is we're gonna delve into the world of romantic films.
Can I change my answer to Natural Born Killers? Speaking of Juliette Lewis, I'm starting to branch out a little.
Then I'm choosing Cape Fear.
So we'll talk about that and others at our next podcast. So if you guys want to make a list of things that we can talk about, of movies that you think are romantic. I mean, I mentioned Irreversible jokingly, but I think just the passion that man has to find the man
To rape her.
Yes. I don't think we should discuss it, but okay.
I see what you're saying as an example. It's,
Yeah.
There is romance at the underlying at the heart of the story.
Well, thank you, Jordan, Curtis, Brenda, and
Daniel.
Dan, for taking time to sit around and joke and talk movies.
Bye.